Do you recognize this melody? If you said the 20th Century Fox intro, you would be correct. Now, how did you and 4.5 million other people know what that was without ever hearing the melody notes itself? Take a listen to this melody here. Did you guess it? Probably not. Now, what about this melody? And if you said Sandstorm, you would be absolutely correct. So why is it that it's so easy to guess a melody when you don't hear the notes, but it's very hard to guess a melody when you only hear the notes and not the rhythm of the melody? Well, I have scoured the internet to figure out what actually makes a catchy melody, and I have found 3 main things that everybody keeps saying. But what is a catchy melody? Well, a catchy melody seems to be summed up by 2 things. Something that is easily remembered, but most importantly, something that is not so easily forgotten. A lot of things can be easily remembered, but something that just can't get forgotten is what's called an earworm and what gets stuck in your brain. This is the catchy part of the melody that we're looking for. So what are the 3 main things to actually make a catchy melody? Number 1, you need a simple but syncopated melody. You have to have some rhythm to your melody. There is a ton of songs out there that have very basic and very simple melodies as far as the notes themselves go. But as far as the rhythm that the notes are being played, it's a completely different story, and it's completely different for every song, and that is what makes it so catchy. Now, the tricky part here is it has to be simple. It has to be repeatable. You have to be able to stop playing the song and immediately be able to bring it back up into memory. And even better, if it's stuck in your head all day long. If it's more complex, your brain is just gonna have a really hard time remembering everything all together. You can only remember a certain amount of stuff, so if you simple it down, like the classic term that every musician has heard at least once in their life, less is more, it really is in this case. You want less, but every note needs to be exactly what you're looking for, so it just sticks in your brain and it stays there all day long. Real quick, ever wanted to record vocals at home? I have a great resource for you. It's a free guide called The Ultimate Guide to Recording Vocals at Home, and you can download it for free using the top link in the description. It's a complete guide from how to set up your microphone and how to get great sounding vocals no matter where you're at in your house using an awesome thing I like to call the pop-up acoustic treatment technique. So scroll down right now, click the top link in the description, and you can download it for free. Now back to the main video. Now, number 2, you need a call and response. Boiled down, basically what it means is the melody needs to have a call where it's lacking something, and then the rest of the melody finishes it out and answers that call. Let's take the Sandstorm melody here, for example. Now, what if I just left it there and didn't do anything else? It feels like it's lacking something. You need something else. And that's where these 2 notes come in here, where it brings it back to the original melody again. So by the time you come back to the original melody, it sounds like it completed something. It sounds like it's a whole. You went back to the root note of this melody. Now listen to the melody that John Mayer is playing here. By the time that melody comes all the way around, you feel satisfied. But there's one other element to this to actually make something really catchy, and it never wants to leave your brain. It has to be repeatable. Like in Sandstorm, you can repeat this melody over and over and over again, and it can get stuck in your head, and it still sounds fresh, because every time the full cycle of the melody is played, you have the entire call and response back to back. And like in that John Mayer song, when he repeats the melody again, it sounds like it's completely done until he keeps playing. You want to satisfy the listener, but always make them wanting more. It needs to be able to be repeated over and over and over again and still sound fresh. Hence why the 20th Century Fox intro has been stuck in your brain, is because you've heard that intro over and over and over again when you've watched movies. Now, a little bonus tip is you can reinforce the melody with other instruments. You want to make space for the melody and for the syncopation of the melody, but on the downbeats of the melody, you can reinforce that with other specific instruments. Now, this is just one thing professional producers know that beginner producers don't. But there's a ton of other things that beginner producers don't know either. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, click on this video right here. I'm going to show you the difference between a beginner and a pro producer and what pro producers know that you don't. So click here and I'll see you over there. Now, as always, go create.